Hi everyone out there in social media land. I'm Dwight Hall, CEO of Remnant Publications. And I've got some great news for you today. I want to just remind you before I start that make sure that you send your prayer requests. We get a lot of prayer requests and we take them very, very seriously. Or if you have praises, we love sharing praises because I know of someone right now that's close to me that is going through some real tough times. And it's just great that he's able to get some praises that I've been able to read that gives him encouragement. So your praise will encourage other people that might be discouraged. So get that all into us. And I want to let you know that we're not just on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we're on, I'm not even sure everything that we are on, but we're on everything, I think. So it's not just Facebook. I want to show you something here that I showed last week, the longest protest. I wrote this. It's just a little short booklet, but I asked you last time, what was the longest protest? I didn't tell you, and I'm not going to tell you now, but you need to get this little booklet. You should pass it out. But here's what's going on right now. We chose 5 people at random last week to get a free one of these booklets, and we'll be sending that out this week, but we're going to extend that again this week. So we're going to take 5 more randomly, and we'll get that sent out also to you this week. You won't want to miss it. So, you've got to sign up. You've got to make a comment at the bottom. You can make a comment, share a praise or a prayer request, and that's how we randomly can get your name to send it to you. So don't forget about that. I would also like to share with you right now that I shared last week, if I get it. False Prophecies About Israel, and this is a tremendous book by Steve Wahlberg. So make sure that you look this up. You can get on the Remnant website, www.remnantpublications.com, and look at this book. You know, at Remnant, we are very, very serious about getting books to you, the ones that are watching us, to reach a lost and dying world and to share some things that you probably aren't going to get everywhere else. Truth-filled literature that will fill your soul with encouragement, and also about prophecies. We're living in the very last days. So you won't want to miss getting this book. It's by Steve Wahlberg. So don't forget about that. Now I'd like to just share something else with you right now that that I did mention. I mentioned this before, but I got, sometimes you just got to read your notes because I can't think of everything. But that we're on, as I told you, Facebook, and we're on Instagram, but we're on Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, YouTube, and Pinterest. So that's a lot of places that you can find out about Remnant and what Remnant is doing. We've got a lot of stuff going on there. So make sure that you are watching us, and I can't emphasize enough, make sure that you share something with us. I love, and as this goes on, I will be sharing some of what you've shared, if it's a prayer request or praise. And I would like to share right now a couple prayer requests. One is from Stella. Stella, I'm so thankful that you sent this to us. And I want to put this right out there now. It says, kindly pray for my hubby who suffered a stroke. And we really want to keep that in prayer, Stella. It says he needs to improve in his walking. I also need prayer to be more patient. I can relate to you there. I pray all the time, Lord, give me patience now. Well, I kind of say that, but we need to make sure we have patience. So we'll be prepared for that. And then it says, thanks as I pray for your ministry as well. And by the way, thank you, Stella, for that. And we do need your prayers. Satan works overtime with us here at Remnant Publications trying to get the great news of salvation out to a lost and dying world. I've got another prayer request through Instagram. The other was on Facebook. This is from Rose. It says, please pray for me that God will soften my heart towards my dad, whom I haven't seen in 3 years, that the hurt will go away. Rose, if you're watching this, or anybody else that is, I just want to share something very quickly. I was doing a message, it's been a number of years ago down in Florida, and as I had a message all prepared, and as I was praying during Sabbath school, the Lord impressed me to share something out, and I just shared a little testimony. And I said that, it's easy for us to forgive people we don't know or people that's out there and maybe they're homeless or they're having problems, but it's very difficult sometimes to forgive and to pray for our family members. And so, Rose, this is a tremendous prayer request. And you know, when I was sharing some of the issues in my own life and about forgiveness, I had a lady that came up to me. She said that I've been married for 25 years, but my husband and I haven't even slept in the same room for like 15 years. Can you imagine? And it's because they had got upset at each other and because they were cutting each other down and they got so used to it that that's kind of, to me, I called it a Saturday night. It wasn't a revival. It was terrible. And she was crying and said, "Thank you for answering my prayer," after speaking. And then she started proceed to tell me that she was going to go home and ask her husband to forgive her, even though she thought he was the one making all the mistakes. And I just want to let you know that that story turned out very well. So, Rose, we'll be praying for you. And listen, we need to forgive one another, don't we? We need to be more and more like Jesus. So we will certainly be praying for that. And then it says, also for my brother-in-law, who we haven't heard from in 10 days, and in near the recent fires. I live in Northern California where the fires are. Thanks so much in advance. We will certainly keep that in prayer. Okay, I would like to go to our Sabbath resources. You know, that's probably one of my most favorite things really to talk about is Sabbath resources, because it kind of has something for everybody. On Sabbath and Sabbath alone, we share a puzzle or some kind of a questionnaire deal that you can get involved in, whether you're young or middle-aged or old. You can do that. I really get a kick out of that. So make sure you get on Sabbath resources. And I also want to share something that we're doing right now on Sabbath resources. We are sharing miracle stories from this miracle book right here. It's an amazing book. We put it out as a kind of a devotional, but it will be good for this year, for next month, for next year, for 5 years after this, because miracles never get old. And on page, and by the way, this book was designed with all ministries. We couldn't get everyone. We want to do another one someday, but we have miracles through Amazing Facts, through us, Remnant Publications, Christmas Behind Bars, Project Restore, It Is Written, Voice of Prophecy, 3ABN, Lifestyle Matters, Maranatha, Quiet Hour, and a host of other ones. And they sent in miracle stories to us. And I have a miracle story in here, and actually it is on page, I've got it right here. And the other nice thing is I can find it quickly because we also have, as you can see, a bookmark. So you can, as you're reading to your kids or yourself, you can get a little ribbon bookmark there. But this is called Miracle, if you can see that. Can the camera see that okay? Miracle of the Dead Trees. Now this happened with our family. We was out of Montana, and you're going to have to get the book, or we'll have this if it hasn't been on there already. But it's a tremendous story how God He made dead trees. Now we know He created live things, but on our property, we needed so much money, and we were all praying as a family. And you'll have to read this story. It's an amazing story about how He can make even dead trees. Okay, another one that's we're doing on Sabbath Resources is we took on MP3 audio file and we downloaded this book here, Learning to Walk with God, which I wrote a number of years ago, but it's about patience. It's about married life. It's about raising your children. It's about having time to learn to walk with God. And that's why the title. And if you are on this, you can listen to these MP3 audio files. Listen, if you're not, make sure that on the bottom of the page that you sign up, because you're not going to be able to do it, and it's free. It's free. We want you to be able to be encouraged. And I promise you this book will encourage you. It's encouraged hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of people on practical living and how we get along with our spouses and how we deal with our children and how we spend time with God and when do we do it and how we overcome discouragements. It's all in this book. So you're going to be able to listen chapter by chapter different times on Sabbath resources. So I hope you stay in tune with that. We also have a number of updates for you at Remnant. One is we're doing a brand new devotional book. It's about last day events, and it's an amazing book. It's a devotional for every day of the year. We will probably be coming out with this around the end of September, right in that area. There should be a picture. Hopefully we'll get a picture up on the screen so you can see what the book looks like. We are living in the very last days, and we, as Christians and even non-Christians, you need to become Christians, because I can tell you the world has nothing to offer you out there. I went down that road once. Maybe I'll share that sometime to you. But this book helps you specifically for the days that we're living to get ready. And it's a day-by-day devotional book, so you won't want to miss that. We'll have more about that later on. We're also having a book that I think is a tremendous book. If you read in the New Testament, the majority of the New Testament is written by the Apostle Paul. And even though he was not one of the 12 disciples, he was certainly an apostle of Jesus Christ, which God wants all of us to be. And anyway, we're doing a brand new book for us called Life Sketches from the Life of Paul. This will be out probably in a few more weeks. You won't want to miss that, and hopefully we get a picture of that up on the screen for you as well. It's an amazing book. In fact, at Remnant right now, maybe one day we'll bring you in on a live, and we'll go through one of our worships, because we're reading that book, and I just usually read a few short paragraphs, and the Remnant staff, we unpack it together. We just love our worship times. So that's another new book. Another update that I'd like to share with you, that I'm going to continue to share with you and keep us in prayers, we're getting a brand new 8-color printing press. Now, that printing press brand new would be about a $4 million press. We're buying it for $1 million. And so if you have been gifted by God and blessed with actual funds that you can that you're feeling impressed by, you can certainly donate that for this press. We're going ahead and buying it, but you certainly can help, or other things that the Lord is impressing you with. We'll let you know about that. But this printing press prints way faster than the presses we have. The ones we have are good presses, but this is going to be so much faster, and it prints on both sides of the paper at once in color. And it will do, if you can imagine, 32 pages of a standard 5.5 by 8.5 or 6 by 9 book at one time. So if you can imagine, this paper is coming out that is printing 32 pages, and you probably could print 4 or 5 of those in 1 second. So that means that we could print probably our sharing books that are 128 pages. That's 4 32-page signatures. So that could be printed on this printing press probably in about a second and a half. Because that is important. We need to get more books out like The Leaves of Autumn. So you certainly would keep that in prayer for us. We'd appreciate it, and help us as the Lord impresses you. Okay. I guess I want to just go back to you one more time and make sure that you look at this book. You can purchase this. It's a tremendous book on false prophecies about Israel, Babylon, and Armageddon, and you won't want to pass this up. And also this longest protest. Listen, sign up. You can get this book free, and it's a neat booklet. I call it a booklet. It's a book, but it's a little booklet. It's 32 pages. It's an easy read, and it talks about what is the longest protest. Okay. One last thing here. Finally, I want to let you know, if you have any questions, our witnessing stories, our praises, prayer requests, please don't hesitate to send them to us. Again, you can look at the bottom of the video there, and there's a link that you can get on. We want to hear from you. This is vital to us, because as a publishing person, that we want to get great books out, and we want to do books to encourage other people in these last days. You could be a big vital part of that. In fact, many of you that are watching already have been a vital part of that, and we want you to share that with others so they can get on and watch us and get these resources that will help a lost and dying world. I think with all these papers that I have right here, there's quite a few of them. I hope I got through everything, but the neat thing is, if I didn't, guess what? I get to talk to you next week. So until next week, make sure that you share with your friends. You know, not only can you have a better way of life, but you can share with others, and they can have a better way of life. So don't put it off.